You've tuned in to the show that celebrates life and all that makes it special. Sports, music, you, and of course, an ice-cold beer or a glass of your favorite wine. And now, today's story.
Hey guys, hello and welcome to the Life, Sports, Music, and Beer Show and our MLB 2022 American League predictions. But listen, before we proceed, please take a second, take a moment here and hit the like and subscribe buttons below and ring that bell and all that good stuff so we can keep our show going. I'm Ralph, and I'm also known sometimes as Rantin' Ralph, as Rick will remind me every now and then because I just go off the deep end. And allow me to introduce our three sports resident experts who thankfully know a hell of a lot more about sports than I do. All right. Anyway, so here we go. From Ohio, we've got my co-host, Rick Vanilla Gorilla. He's there on the screen. I'll introduce him. He'll come on in a few minutes. From St. Louis, Missouri. I love to say Missouri. Here you go. It's Paul Traveling Man Anthony. And then from South Florida, we got Mike Essen, also known as the South Florida, conservative voice of South Florida.
South Florida's conservative voice.
There you go, man. Thank you, Mike. You always see, somehow I always blow it. All right. But I'm glad you're there to fix it. All right. So listen, guys, gentlemen, welcome. How is everybody?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing good.
Excellent, man. As you know, we all made our National League predictions a little earlier. All right. But now we're going to move on to what they call the junior circuit, which is the American League. All right. Now, just so everybody knows, we did the National League, and this is being recorded. These are all recorded shows, and they're being done on opening day. So there's no games that have been played at this time. All right. So I'm going to have these three fine gentlemen give their predictions as to how they think this whole thing is going to play out. Each one of them is going to take their turn, and then the other two will comment on their picks. All right. So, gentlemen, any opening comments before we get started? Paul?
Let's play ball.
There you go. I love it. Rick?
I'm just glad Paul's wearing pants.
How do you know he's wearing pants?
He told me.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Okay.
You know, he's in the show me state, so you gotta watch that shit.
I never thought of that. You're absolutely right. Well,
Right.
I love, Rick, you are so on the ball all the time. It's unbelievable. I'm intimidated, not by your humongous size, because I'm 5'7" with my hair spiked on a good day.
Yeah.
So if I bumped into you, I would probably hit my forehead with your belt buckle, assuming you wear a belt.
What would your head? No, never mind. I don't want to know what your head was.
Wow, Not that kind of show.
I know. Opening comments, Mike. You got anything to say before we get started?
Hashtag caps off.
Oh, I like that. All right. So, guys, let's get started. American League, right? We got three divisions. Is the other one East, Central, and West. Let's start off with, what did I say here? Let's start off with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, you want to start us off today? Is that good?
Sure.
All right. Mike has got the American League East. Go for it, bub.
I want to say there's four teams you could argue for to be number one. Baltimore is not one of them. This team is really awful. They lose any good player they have. They're number 5, and I don't even know if their fans are going to root. People in the stadiums will root for them if there is anybody in the stadiums at all. Number 4, I'm going to take the Boston Red Sox, and I think all the playoff teams are going to come from this division. Boston had just acquired Trevor Story. That's an excellent pick going around with Rafael Devers and Xander Bogaerts. Their pitching is inconsistent. And last year, they really took a dive after a strong start. I see them struggling a little more. Third is the Yankees, but the question is which Yankees team players are going to be healthy. And we just can't know that. But the way it goes with them, I'm glad they got Anthony Rizzo. That's a great pick. Joey Gallo's struggling a little bit, but I think he'll pick it up. But Aaron Judge, Gavin Torres, many players aren't even going to play because they're going to be hurt so much. And there's a lot of streakish players there. They have 4 great games, 4 bad games. I think they'll be third. This is going to shock a lot of you. Toronto's going to be number 2, I think. I know Vladimir Guerrero is the next Albert Pujols. He's incredible. I know Hyun Jin Ryu, if I said his name right, is an incredible pitcher. I know Marcus Semien and A.J. Pollock are going to be great backups. But I think they haven't proven anything yet, even with everyone but Pollock and I just don't see them at the top because Tampa Bay is a unique team. I think they're going to be number one. They never have the best roster. I think Randy Arozarena and Brandon Lau are going to be all stars for sure this year. But they play together so well as a team, and they are so well coached. It's like when Oakland used to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Nobody knew who their players were, but they played well together. And Tampa Bay wins over 100 games every year. Those are my picks.
Nice. All right, Paul, what's your take on that?
The thing I like about the history of the Rays, I mean, they're not always the best team. They're certainly not the highest paid team. But like that line from The Miracle, they don't have the best players. They have the right players, and they play together well. Yeah, I like it.
You like the Rays?
I like the Rays. It's just weird not seeing Boston in the top two with the Yankees.
Thank God.
But yeah, I know you're upset, Ralph.
Yeah, you're right. Really upset. Rick, hit cleanup, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. It's a very system-oriented team. You plug in pieces for the system. You don't change your system for the pieces, and that's what they believe in, and that's a great recipe for consistency, to be honest with you, because if you have the right pieces, if people get hurt, guess what? You got the other pieces just to fill them in, because you're doing your farm system the same way you're doing what your big league is. So therefore it's plug and play. It's not a bunch of all-stars. It's a bunch of clubhouse guys. And I'm telling you, if you haven't played the game, clubhouse is so critical to a team. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Let me just throw some stuff out at you. Orioles, it's a shame. What a great franchise, how they've just deteriorated throughout. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I don't know if it's management, if it's ownership. It's horrible. Cal Ripken must be like, I mean, I think he's one of the greatest players of all time, Cal Ripken. And
even better than players now.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Shit. Brooks Robinson
today,
might
not
be.
His prime. Not his prime. Today,
yeah. Bring Cal and Brooks Robinson back right now, and they're probably better than these guys.
Oh my God. Yeah. They'd be good in any era. They were just great players. Red Sox. I don't know if you guys know Chris Sale is out for at least a month or so.
He's inconsistent anyways.
Yeah, but at least he's something
past
to,
his prime.
He's, what do they got? They got no pitching. They got Eovaldi. Who else have they got?
They don't.
Their pitching is weak.
Their pitching is very weak. Yeah, which is amazing. Yankees, forget it. Same deal. No pitching. Severino's out now. They got one guy, Cole, and that's it. After that, it's a bunch of, some upcoming pitchers, but nobody's proven they can't win. Yankees can't win with the roster they have. Everybody's picked. By the way, I went online and I checked all these sports experts, as they're called, because anybody can be an expert nowadays. You say I'm an expert, you're an expert. That's all it takes. They all picked the Blue Jays. At least 90% of them picked the Blue Jays. Mm-hmm. I agree with you guys. I agree it's Tampa Bay. I don't like the Blue Jays. I can't get into specifics like you guys, but I think they're too young. I think they're too inexperienced. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not crazy about management. I'm not crazy about their manager. So I don't think it's them. And I'm going to get into something very controversial here. I don't know whether you guys want to talk about it now. It's this vaccine thing. It's my understanding, as I know it today, and I could be wrong. Somebody please correct me, that players that go into Canada to play Toronto have to be vaccinated or they cannot play. So the Yankees are already talking about when they go to Toronto, for example, Judge and a couple of others will not be able to play. Now, if that's the case, I'm going to ask you guys, what is your take on that? Does that create
it's complete totalitarianism. People have a right not to be vaccinated. They have a right they can be vaccinated if they want. But to ask them, and they can have religious reasons, the vaccines haven't always worked, but to ask them to give up their career and give up the teamwork and hurt the vendors like that is completely unforgivable, and I hate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it a Canadian rule that you have to be vaccinated to play, or is it a Toronto Blue Jays rule?
Let me step in. It used to be Canada's rule because the NHL, if you remember, Paul, last year, that's when they separated American and Canadian teams. Remember, they had two leagues, basically. It looks like they're not relinquishing hold of that, where New York's made the adjustments,
Right.
you know, because if you look at the NBA with Kyrie Irving, they made that adjustment because Kevin Durant was like, what the hell are we doing? You know, they started waking up. He was like, wait a minute, he can come watch us play, but he can't play. He goes, what sense does that make?
Right.
So even New York opened up. We'll see if Canada follows suit, because eventually they're going to have to, because you're going to have people out just in outrage, especially in the sports world, over this bullshit. When you're talking about a game like baseball where you're hardly within 6 feet of each other for 15 minutes. There's plenty of distancing on that field.
Guys, I'm a cynic.
And just to remind you,
I'm a pure
COVID's
cynic when it comes to
almost
this crap,
100%
because to me, go ahead.
I was saying,
and let's not get into that, because you're absolutely right. Here's how I see this, and I'll just throw this out just to see what you guys think. This guy, the commissioner of baseball, what's his name? I always think of Manfred Mann, you know, like Do-Wah Diddy, you know, Do-Wah Diddy walking down the street, that old song. This guy is useless. This guy is an idiot. Okay.
He looks like an alien.
Oh my God. Let me tell you something. This guy, if he had any cojones on him, he would say to Toronto, hey guys, this is very simple. You don't allow these teams to come in and play on your ballpark with a full squad. Guess what? You forfeit every game. So you're going to start the season with 81 losses. How do you like that, Bubba? See, if I was the commissioner, that's what I would do. But of course, he's a puppet, and he panders to all of these owners. That's what he does. That's his job. I understand but he pampers to them. How the hell can these people say, if you're not vaccinated, you can't play in our ballpark? Does that create, here's my question to you, does that create a tremendous disadvantage to any team coming into Toronto? Let's say you have your star players, they're not vaccinated. What the hell? What is that? What do we talk? This is where we've gotten in society. This is so screwed up.
Yep.
Rick,
It's segregation. Segregation, Ralph. And I've said that from jump. That you have segregated people vaccinated versus unvaccinated. You started in New York when you had to present your cards. Your cards? Does that sound familiar to something that happened years ago? Because I was like, you got to be shitting me on this. But the other part is, you want to hit them. You want to make them change that rule. Tell them they can't host any home games. See how quick that ownership goes, oh shit, we're going to lose a lot of money. Yeah, you will.
Well, they played the last 2 years in Buffalo, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Toronto did. Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's the most ridiculous thing.
It's stupidity. It's
let me ask you something.
It's insane.
What about the people that go to the stadium? Do they have to all be masked? Does everybody in that stadium have to have a mask on? This is what I don't understand.
You do know last year they had vaccinated and unvaccinated sections of the stadiums, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay.
Wow.
Again, you're segregating people.
Okay, but Rick, let's forget last year. We are where we are now.
Right. No, I don't know if Toronto, I don't know if they they wouldn't allow anybody unvaccinated in the stadium, I wouldn't think.
Right.
If they're not letting players in.
Yeah. But I'll close with this. On this idea that we're talking about Toronto, it's a reflection of this idiot that they've got up there, Trudeau. The guy is an absolute jerk. He's a monarch. He's a tyrant. This guy, I don't even know how the hell he's there. If he has look at all the crap he's done, and now he wants to come in and take over sports. Let me ask you, is any of this happening? You guys are into hockey. Is this happening with hockey teams? Hockey teams let's say when the Florida Panthers go up there, are they allowed to play in that stadium?
I think they are. I have heard nothing.
Full capacity up there too.
By this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of you listening or watching this have any updates on that, honestly, I don't have an update. I want to find out if that's still in effect, because to me, it's just the most absurd thing. Anyway,
I know there was a stretch of time this year in the NHL when a few Canadian cities wouldn't allow fans in when the variant was stronger up there, but they've since let them back in. So.
Yeah, but Paul, like I said, that was then.
Yeah.
This is now.
Yeah.
Let's come on. Let's face reality. Where are we? Anyway, let's move on. So Tampa Bay, I agree with you guys. It's a sad. Have you guys ever been to the stadium there, Tampa Bay Stadium?
No,
I'd love to.
no.
You'd
I
love
would
to, huh?
too.
Yeah, no, you don't want to go.
But you put a roof on a place in Tampa Bay. Why would you want to go?
Well, no.
I
In
don't
all fairness,
understand.
it rains like hell over there.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
it rains like hell.
That makes
However,
sense.
it's designed in a way. See all the fly balls that hit these.
Oh yeah, the beams. Yeah.
Yeah, the beams and stuff. And
Yep.
the stadium is like a sardine can. The only reason that it's worse than Miami Stadium is because it's older than Miami Stadium. Because if not, to me, it's a sardine can. It's awful. The acoustics are terrible. It's just the crappiest stadium in Major League Baseball. And this is what I don't understand. Crappiest stadium, the lowest payroll, I believe, or one of the lowest payrolls.
It's one of them. Yeah.
And they win every year.
Yeah.
They got to be doing something right, guys.
It's
I love to
great
see that.
organization.
Yeah. And I hate Tampa
Yeah.
Bay because they're, with the Yankees, but they got to be doing something right. What are they doing right? How can they
They're
pay
well
these
coached.
guys?
They play together and they learn teamwork. They sacrifice individual statistics for the betterment of their team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like Moneyball.
Yeah.
You guys ever see that movie, Moneyball?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brad Pitt, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Brad Pitt, where he gets, it's a true story. This guy, he got all these young kids together, and he just put a bunch of guys that weren't stars together, and look what he did. I mean, he just transformed baseball. All right, I'm ranting. All right, let's move on.
Shocking.
Rick, you're hitting second today.
I
AL
am.
Central. Talk to me, boy.
All right. Well, we'll start with the obvious. Well, it's actually not obvious. It could be either one of these teams, to be honest with you. But I'm going to go with Kansas City in fifth. Their lineup has one of my favorite players in baseball right now is Salvador Perez. If you haven't watched this guy catch, please watch him catch. He is just textbook. It's kind of refreshing to see guys that don't have to look in the dugout even at this level for calls on pitches, and it's rare. And I think he's one of them. Watch him rub his hand in the dirt every time after he throws the ball back to the pitcher to keep grip, and then watch a guy hit 278 last year with 48 knocks and 121 RBIs. Are you fucking kidding me? As a catcher?
Yeah.
That should be a high paid man right now, in my opinion. But he's on just an absolute losing dumpster fire of a franchise right now. And I wish they would let him out because I think he could really take a team to a next level with that kind of pop as a catcher. I mean, seriously. Also look for Bobby Witt Jr. You might remember his dad, pitcher back in the day, Bobby Witt with Texas. Up and comer, man. Again, you're old when you're talking about you watch their dads play. You're old, and I'm old. So their question is, can Bobby Witt take them and contend? No, because they don't have enough. They have names on this roster in this starting lineup that if it was 5, 7, 10 years ago, you'd be like, that's a hell of a lineup. It's not 10 years ago. So, names like Benintendi, Mondesi, Dozier, Carlos Santana from Cleveland. These are all washed up throwaways, basically, is what we're talking. So that's why I have them fifth. We have Cleveland Guardians. I guess I have to call them that now. Paul, I'm with you. I just don't want to. They are the Indians to me, and forever will be. Pitching staff, phenomenal. Problem, no offense. Stat of the year last year. Outfield combined for 50 home runs last year. Combined, the three of them. Vladdy Jr. had 48 by himself with Toronto. So they have no pop in that lineup. They have nothing really except for Ramirez. And the $1 million question this year for them is, when are they going to trade Ramirez? Because that's what Cleveland does. They'll get rid of him. They're going to have to, I think.
But they just re-signed him. Did they just re-sign him, Rick?
I don't know. Did they, Paul, in the offseason?
I think they signed him to a 3-year contract.
Okay. And they may dump it or try to or get somebody. I mean, honestly, if I'm him, I'm wanting out now. I mean, money's one thing, at some point you want to contend, you're going to get that money somewhere else too.
Right.
But we'll see what happens with them. Again, there's nothing in that lineup that you go, oh, there's the pop. It's a bunch of 10 home run guys, and it's Ramirez, and that's what they are. Pitching can only do so much for you. And that's why I have them in the 4-hole. The surprise probably will be this time Minnesota I have in the 3-hole, and I'll tell you why. Their pitching staff is weak. Sonny Gray's a big pickup. That's a good pickup. Is he enough to carry them? Probably not. Offensively, they have a ton of pop in this lineup, but it's a bunch of power hitters. Again, I don't like power. I like average with a combination of power and average. And the big pickup, though, for them, Carlos Correa coming over from Houston. The AL Central picked up a couple quality shortstops this year in trades, so that was big for the actual division. And I'll get to the other one here in a minute. But their lineup's good. I mean, you got Buxton, Polanco, Correa, Arias, and, of course, Miguel Sano. If you haven't seen that kid hit, that dude looks like a defensive tackle that will come absolutely destroy you if you say something wrong about the guy. Max Kepler, Gary Sanchez, your favorite player, Ralph, Alex Carrillo, Giovanni Urshela. Yes. Gary Sanchez is going to take him to the promised land because he left the Yankees just for you.
Define promised land.
Hit 320 with 50 taters this year.
Yeah, right.
But here's my surprise.
You mean 50 pass balls? Is that what you're talking, Rick? 50 pass balls? Is that what
I think it'll be more like 50 tater tots.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's good. My surprise, obviously I'm wearing the hat, but I'll tell you why. This is a surprise no longer, according to some of the experts, because of what they've done in the offseason, and the youth on this team is the Detroit Tigers. You look at that pitching staff, it's young and it's good, and they're up and coming, and they have a kid in the farm system, Job, who's going to be insane when they finally get him tailored and ready to come up. Remember that name. But they went out and got Rodriguez, Eduardo. They got Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal, Manning, and Alexander. It's young. It's good. The problem with Detroit has always been, for me, middle relief and closers. Been junk for them for a long time. But you have a guy in that middle relief role, the setup guy for the closer, Michael Fulmer, who was the rookie of the year the one year, and then had the surgery and never came back to be a starter anymore. But he's a pretty good relief guy, and he's got good stuff, and he's getting healthy again. So it's good to see him. But this lineup is scary and good and young, and I can't wait to see this team play. Finally, first time I'm excited in probably 10 years, honestly. You got Badu hitting in the 1-hole. If you haven't seen this kid play, watch him. He's exciting. He loves the game, quicker than hell, and has a little pop at the leadoff spot. Robbie Grossman, and then our big pickup was Javier Baez, the shortstop that we went out and got. So that's the second shortstop, big name, coming over to the Central. A huge pickup the other day was Austin Meadows that we grabbed from Tampa, I believe, that we just signed and we got, and he's starting left field for us. If that guy gets back to 2019 and hits 30 bombs, this lineup's legit. I got a stat for you. Miggy Cabrera is DHing. This year, he will become the 7th player to hit, 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. So he'll be at 3,000 or 4,000. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4. I apologize. The other 6 are Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Pujols, Eddie Murray, Palmeiro, and Alex Rodriguez. Out of those 7, Miggy will have the highest career batting average out of the 7 that have reached that plateau. I'll get into an argument with Paul here in a minute, but because everybody says
dropping the gloves.
It's not. I mean, I respect both guys tremendously. I just think everybody talks about best right-handed hitter, and they always say Pujols immediately and just disregard Cabrera. When you look at that number, then you combine a triple crown on top of that, And you think about who he's had to play with no protection before and after him in the order. You can make the argument for Miggy with Albert. I love them both, so that's not an argument. So behind him this year is Candelario, then Jonathan Scoop, the old Minnesota Twin. Spencer Torkelson, our number 1 draft pick from 2020, has been called up and is ready. I can't wait to see him, guys. He'll be starting at first this year. We'll groom him for a third baseman. That's where he'll play. And we got Tucker Barnhart, the catcher from Cincy. Came over. Riley Green, our 2019 fifth pick in the draft, is hurt. He will be back, but he is a center fielder you need to watch as well. Insane. Young, 20 years old. Torkelson's 21. This team's young, and they're primed. 2 years, probably the best forecast for them, but they will contend for a wild card this year. They may push the White Sox now, but I do have the White Sox at number 1, as does everybody. I just don't think it's going to be that easy anymore for them like I did at the beginning. Anderson, Robert, Abreu, Moncada, Jimenez, Grandal, Pollock, Sheets, Harrison. Pitching staff solid. What jumped out at me was their strikeout ratio. They all average over a strikeout an inning, literally, these guys. 217 Ks for Giolito last year in 185 innings pitched. 203 for Dylan Cease in 166. They all average over 1 strikeout an inning. That's insane to have them all do that. So that's pretty solid. Their whips are ridiculous. Liam Hendricks, their closer, 38 saves last year, 113 Ks. His whip was a .73. So that's pretty insane. So that's who I have. I do have Detroit making the playoffs as a wild card.
Interesting. All right, Mike, what's your take on that?
He is right that Chicago is the class of that division, but it's probably the weakest division in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have teams like Kansas City who have, with Andrew Benedetti and Salvador Perez and nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, I like Byron Buxton a lot. I'm a little partial to base runners, so I like Byron Buxton on the Twins. I think he's underrated. I think he will make a difference along with not Sanchez, but the other accusations. But Detroit, I haven't studied enough. I got to be honest, because I don't study Baltimore. I don't study. No offense for it.
No, you're fine. I get it. I totally get it.
I may get to like these players and know them, but it's a one division race, sort of like the NL West is. And
yep,
I don't think the White Sox are championship level,
which gives me
really
hope.
Good.
Yeah, they are.
What?
Okay, Paul, what's your take?
It's hard to bet against Tony La Russa. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like every team that he goes to is gold. I mean, look what he did in Oakland. Look what he did here in St. Louis. And now people were saying that, will he be able to manage the egos that are in baseball today? Yeah.
He did fine.
Yeah, he did
He's one of the
fine.
greatest managers of all time.
By far.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. And Detroit, I love hearing young teams, up and coming teams. I'll hold that off for later. Never mind. But yeah, I would think that if they're close, look for them to make a big push at the trade deadline.
Agreed.
Who's that, Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit.
And Paul, real quick, that's a great point, because that's why I'm so excited, because they went out and got some of these guys. And in the years past, they just sit status quo and watch them be a dumpster fire, and they could care less. And they thought their farm system would just be the end all be all. They went out and that's why I got excited when they went out and got Austin Meadows right before the season started. I mean, they showed me that they want to compete. And that's all I want from ownership in Detroit, because none of the other teams seem to be wanting to do that. So I'm happy with that. And I think you're right. I think with young pieces, I think they're going to make a big push at the trade deadline. Would not surprise me to see Miggy get traded at the deadline if he does anything in the first half. And just to let him go, let him have a chance like you did with Stafford in Detroit. Let him out of this this trap and let him be a DH or a pinch hitter on a playoff team on a run.
Mm-hmm. Did he announce that this is going to be his last year, or is he?
I don't know if he ever officially announced it. I haven't heard anything out of Detroit. I would think he would wait till probably midway, little after midway, after the trade deadline. If he doesn't get traded, I bet he announces.
Very interesting, gentlemen. Real quickly, my comments on the Royals. It's sad. Aren't they a small market? Kansas City's a small market team, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great place to go, though. I want to say that real quick. That stadium is kick butt. It's right beautiful. Next to Arrowhead, and it's in the middle of no man's land. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, I just wonder how many really studs want to go and play there unless they're just giving them an obscene amount of money. Because it's, because of them being a small market. The Guardians, the only thing I love about the Guardians, I can't, the fact that they caved in and they changed their name, that to me, that franchise is dead. I want nothing more to do with them. I hate them. I used to love their mascot. And I'll tell you who I love. I love their manager, Terry Francona. He's still their manager, right? I love that guy. Even when you're gonna be shocked at this. Even when he was with Boston, I loved him. What a classy guy.
He's a baseball dude.
Yeah, a classy guy. I would hire him as my manager any day of the week. Twins, I hope they end up in 12th place out of 5 teams. They cannot win with Gary Sanchez. This guy is a pariah. They're not going to win with this guy behind the plate. That's my prediction. Who gives a shit?
They're going to be my sleeper pick just to spite you, Ralph.
Just to piss him off and say Gary Sanchez for AL MVP. That's what I say.
God almighty. I agree with everybody. The White Sox is the class of that league. Yeah. The Tigers, Rick, I want to ask you this particular question.
Sure.
Do you think that the Tigers will make it this year, will be in the playoffs simply because they play in such a weak division or because they're that good?
No, I think Mike's right, especially this year. If they do make it, it's because of the division and their schedule. In 2 years, I think it's because they're going to be legit.
Well, I'm glad to see them come around. I'll tell you, I love the Detroit Tigers simply because, when I think of Detroit, guys, tell me what you think. I think of old school baseball. Mm-hmm. There's something about the uniform and, the Ty Cobb and the Alan Trammell and Lou Witt. Yep. There's something that's enticing. When I look at them, I think it's that old school. I just love it. The logo, I love it. Yeah. I just love Detroit. They
I still picture old
of
Tiger
baseball.
Stadium too.
Yeah, Tiger Stadium was awesome, and Sparky and the '84, and Sparky. It's been sad to see how far they've fallen in the last probably 10 years, and to see that fan base just dying for something right now because honestly, the whole city is down. I mean, sports wise, we just suck. Detroit has nothing right now. Really?
Yeah. When was the last time Detroit had a championship?
Every year.
Yeah.
When was the last pro? That's a good question, Paul. When's the last?
It had to be
Detroit
Red Wings.
It has to be the Red Wings. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that?
The Tigers haven't won since '84.
Right. Tigers. No, but the Red Wings
have never won one. The Pistons went back to back 90-90 or 89-90. So yeah, the Lions have never won one. Them and there's only 2 teams like them in Cleveland.
The Browns,
never won a Super Bowl.
Wow. I'll tell you,
the Red Wings were on fire forever, and the one thing you could count on after 26 straight years in the playoffs, which was like second longest streak ever in hockey, is that. And now they're rebuilding. I mean, literally rebuilding. So.
Yeah, I would go with the Tigers myself because of the reasons that I just mentioned. I think they're just so old school. I'd love to see them win. I think Detroit just needs something. I'm a huge Barry Sanders fan, and I couldn't. Poor guy, stuck in that franchise all those years. Can you imagine Barry Sanders on let's say, just name any other team?
It was Dallas's offensive line was the comparison always. I go, I go, if he had the Cowboys offensive line, he'd have made Emmitt Smith's numbers look stupid.
Yes. I think he would have been by far considered the greatest running back of all time, even better than Jim Brown, just because of his numbers. He would have just rocked it, man.
I think Calvin Johnson was the same way. They made him retire too early, and that man was a physical specimen at the wideout.
It's a shame. All right, guys, so let's move on. All right, Paul, we've given you enough time to think and to put this together. I kid you, buddy. All right, Paul, go ahead. AL West.
You just surprised me with the sleeper picks. I didn't have that ready.
All right, there you go.
So the Oakland A's, the thing I'll say about them is good thing that the San Francisco Giants are right across the bay, that the fans have something to root for. Texas Rangers, they do everything big down in Texas. Not the Rangers. Neither team will be anywhere near 500 this year.
All right, so who's your five?
The A's will be last.
Okay.
And then the Rangers.
Okay. So you got nothing good to say about either one of them.
My mom said, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything.
I got you. I love
that. Where does that leave me? That's two. Hang on.
You don't have much to work with there,
I don't. Man, no.
Seattle and
you got Angels, Astros, and Mariners.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
This is baseball. We're talking about baseball.
Oh, we're doing baseball today.
Yeah, baseball. Little round ball.
We're doing hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a few minutes.
Okay.
So Seattle's going to be my third pick. In the outfield, Jared Kelenic and Julio Rodriguez and Mitch Haniger can hit the bombs. With Haniger leading the way with 30 plus this year. Third base is Suarez from Cincinnati. I'm glad that he's not in the Reds anymore. He'll hit 25 or more. They do have some pop. Jesse Winker at DH. He'll hit a ton of home runs up there. It seems like a lot of people that we've mentioned are former Reds players.
Yes, it's the Reds part B. Yeah.
Yeah. Being in the NL Central, I enjoy that. Shortstop, light hitting JP Crawford, but they'll have bombers and people that can hit around him. Second base will go to Adam Frazier to lead things off and set the table for the big guys to follow. First base, Ty France will serve as the number 2 hitter, not nearly as strong as the Angels, but they'll keep things interesting. Rotation looks pretty good to me, led by ace Robbie Ray. Then they'll have Logan Gilbert, Marco Gonzalez, Cardinal castoff, Chris Flexen, and Matt Brash. In the pen, another closer by committee. I don't know why teams still do this. I don't like it at all. Yeah. Paul Sewald and Drew Over. I guess that's his name. At first, that's a different page.
Paul, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you say you're not in favor of the closer by committee?
No,
exactly.
I mean,
well, let me ask you guys then. No, let me just. How come it's worked for Tampa Bay? It's worked for Tampa Bay. That's what they do. They don't have a closer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worked for them.
It's a system that they. I mean, if they have a good enough system that they do, but a lot of times these closers are such unique personalities. A true closer, they sleep most of the game and wake up by the 7th inning, and boom, they're in the bullpen. 2 innings later, they're out on the mound.
That's a nice way of him saying brittle egos like field goal kickers, because that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this, and Paul, really seriously, I hate to interrupt you, but I think this is very interesting. Do you guys think that closers have the same role? I'm talking about the ultimate closer has the same role now as they did years ago. I don't see that happening. No, I don't see those really great closers, a guy that you could count on to come in. I don't see that anymore. It's almost like, well, it depends on the team and it depends on the day. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. The days of Trevor Hoffman and Mariano Rivera are pretty much over, at least on hiatus.
Honestly, they're not the same as the old days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lee Smith.
And even going back further than that, Ralph, I mean, these guys are specialized. None of them can go 3 innings. None of them can go 3 innings. These guys are literally throwing their wads within 2 batters, and they're spent. It's a soft era, dude. I'm telling you. I've told you that a long time ago.
Yeah.
These pitchers don't throw 120 pitches anymore. It's all pitch count. It's all this. It's all that.
But Rick, help me here a second, because as you know, I'm the resident pessimist here. I try to, today these athletes are such great shape as compared to years ago, where like Mike once said, Babe Ruth used to eat hot dogs in the dugout.
Well, Mickey Lolich, look at half of the greats.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
Mickey Lolich with a pot belly and stuff like that. Yes. He still go out there and he was a hell of a pitcher.
And he throw 150 pitches.
Well, how the hell does that happen? If these guys are such great shape, why is it that, you got to pitch count 90 pitches and then what
happened, Ralph? Analytics happened. And that's why this shit happens. It has nothing to do with their physicality. It has everything to do with, if they see them 3 times in an order, they're going to know their pitches. This guy needs to, they've studied the book on him. One inning, he's done. It's analytics and it's bullshit. How's that?
No, listen, I'm glad to hear you say that.
Feel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad to hear you say that. I think it's all bullshit. I can't believe it's something. Well, he's reached this pitch count. How the hell do you know he's reached this pitch count?
Exactly.
Ask the guy.
A catcher knows best, by the way. When a guy loses it.
Exactly.
I can tell you that from experience.
Yeah.
When we know when somebody's losing it and when they're tired. Yeah. The spin rate, the ball's not breaking, the ball's not biting, it's not moving, he's not popping here, he's missing spots. That's when you know a guy's losing it.
Paul, I'm
not an analytic robot that says, he's 5 miles an hour slower now. Verlander gets stronger when a game ends, so you can't use that on people.
Exactly.
Yeah, Paul, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. I just that comment that you made, I thought it was a very good point of discussion. Go ahead, Paul. You chose Athletics 5, Rangers 4, Mariners 3.
They will give Los Angeles Angels a run for second. So my second pick will be Los Angeles. And one question for you guys. The catcher's visit to the mound, are they still limiting the mound visits this year by catchers?
I thought it was 2 per inning, and you have to make a change on the second. That's what I thought.
Okay.
I
thought they had a limit of mound visits per game.
That they may. I honestly don't. I know the inning one. That's all I know. Honestly.
Yeah, the inning one. Okay. So one of the new rules in place this year is I guess we can call it the Otani Rule, to where a pitcher can start a game and also be the DH. If they pull him because of pitch count or whatever, he can remain in the game and bat DH, but somebody else will be pitching. So that's one rule to protect Otani from being able to continue on.
Hold on a second. Could you go over that again slowly so even us idiots can understand this?
Okay. So the rule normally is if you take a pitcher out of the game, he's done for the day.
He's done.
He can't come back in the game.
Right.
So they changed the rule since they have so many pitchers who can hit Otani.
How many? How many pitchers can hit?
Well, there's a few that are really good hitters that you want to keep in the lineup.
Yeah, there's a couple.
So he serves as a DH as well. So in the past, if he would be pulled from the mound, he would have to go out to the outfield or another position to remain in the game, keep his bat in the game. Now they can keep him as a DH, and when he's finished pitching and they bring a relief pitcher in, he can come off the mound and remain as a DH and still hit.
All right.
Okay.
Mike, what's your take on that rule? I just want I had no idea.
I think
Mike, what's your take?
I don't agree with it. I'd like to go all out. I mean, this guy is a phenom. He's not making this team go any higher than they were.
He froze up.
He's a man with pitching
and
talent.
He's in South Florida. It's not cold there. I don't understand
that. Go for the goals.
Mike, go again because you froze up.
Okay, I don't like this rule at all. I think this man is a phenom. He's a great pitcher, a great hitter. Go for the goal. I mean, let him do what he does best. Why keep these restrictions on the game that just make it harder to be the best individual you can be playing baseball?
Yeah. So you think if he's pulled as a pitcher, he should not DH anymore?
Right. I think it should be the way it was last year.
I agree.
And apparently there's some up and coming players in the minors who converted infielders or converted position players that can hit, who are pitchers now.
Mm-hmm.
So down the road, this is going to be more of an issue going forward. So
Rick, what's your take on
the
that?
offensive?
No, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the Otani rule. However, it does help kids that are specialized for pitching. Once they get to college, this opens door for them a little bit more, I think. I'm saying it specifically because of my son. That's funny that this rule just passed, because he doesn't want to be a pitcher only, specialized in that, and his bat's too good. So he's always worried that college is just going to use him as a pitcher. And I go, if you can hit, they will find spots.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a ridiculous first baseman. But he's always worried about that. I think that opens doors for some of these kids that are pitchers that can hit the shit out of the ball, that colleges won't just, think about them as a one position player. They're going to start thinking about them. Hey, we can pitch him and DH him. And when they pull him, he's still in as a DH. So that's just my take.
Yeah.
Now the Angels have another pitcher, Michael Lorenzen.
Mm-hmm.
Rick, you'll remember him from the Reds.
Yep.
He can hit the ball.
He can hit the shit out of the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do they do now? Is he just going to be, I hate to say wasted as a pitcher. He's a decent pitcher.
Right.
But yeah, the guy can hit.
At least he'll get 3 to 4 at bats, even if he doesn't complete a game, is what you would leave him in for, right?
Right.
You would leave him in that DH spot, even when you yank him, if he's having a bad outing.
Right.
So at least he's getting more at bats. I think that helps Otani big time. But I definitely think it helps guys like Lorenzen, like you said. He doesn't get one at bat and then hooked and has to bunt every time, and the guy's got an average that's a 0.6 or so. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's good for them. But I'm with Mike. I'm old school, but it just, for me, it's exciting because it helps my son. I guess I'm selfish.
Yeah, but that makes sense. No, I understand, Rick, but your son plays a hell of a first base.
Yes, he does. But the problem is, and this is why I made him play multiple positions when he was younger, when you run into high school, you run into an upperclassman. What if he's as good as you or better and he's older? Who do you think they're going to play? This kid was all division, all OCC last year, and first team all district, the guy that plays first too. So, our coach has a dilemma. So Bryce is DHing right now. He's a better fielding first baseman, but not a better hitting first baseman right now. So that's why I made him play multiple positions when he was younger, because in college, same thing's going to happen. You come in as a freshman, don't expect to start unless you can play multiple positions and you have a bat where they can't keep you out of the lineup. Then they'll find a spot for you if you've played it.
Well, it seems like just about every team has one or two, maybe more players that can play multiple positions and just, rotate around, give days off to people. And, they have
you had one of the best in the history of baseball with Oquendo.
Oh yeah.
That is what you need to have longevity in baseball. Be able to look at a manager and go, I played 2 years at that position. I know the position. Show me. Okay.
Yeah. And
look at this guy.
In one season, he played all 9 positions.
He played all 9. So did I think Brandon Inge with Detroit did too at one point.
Yeah.
So that happens, and you need to have people like that.
Yeah.
Oquendo, I remember him pitching. I remember Inge pitching, and I'm like, good Lord, that looks like slow pitch softball coming in right there.
Yeah. Well, that's the Yankees just signed. Well, they signed him, and he made the roster. Marwin Gonzalez from Houston. This guy can play every position. I don't think he can pitch, but he can play every position. So you've done the right thing, in my opinion. Why don't athletes nowadays, baseball players, take that route and just, maybe not all positions, but learn more than, if you're a pitcher, you should learn how to play a little outfield.
Because it's really hard, particularly for my son, because he's left-handed, and too many people have stigmas about left-handed players. that they can only play first, they can only play outfield. That's it, and pitch.
Right.
It's not 1950. It's not 1940 something. The days of left-handed catchers being obsolete, I don't think are going to be obsolete in 10 years, because I think you're going to see them finally, because it's not all right-handed hitters in a lineup. And if you have a right-handed pitcher and you can turn them around, what's wrong with a left-handed catcher?
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Okay, Paul, we keep interrupting you, but you're always bringing up such good points. No, seriously, you mention things that just trigger things.
Yeah, I agree.
So
and we're giving you more time for your sleeper, bro.
Yeah. All right. So
with my next team, I'll have more to say about other things. So here we go.
Yeah.
Let me finish on the Angels. Where was I? You got Otani and Trout, top two in the lineup. Both are going to crush the ball, driving a ton of runs. The rest of the outfield is solid with Brandon Marsh and Joe Adell. Third base, Anthony Rondon will have a bounce back year this year and hit over 20 home runs. Shortstop will feature speedster Dave Fletcher. Hopefully he can avoid the sophomore slump, though. Tyler Wade will join Fletcher up the middle. Over at first, we have Jared Walsh. He'll support Otani and Trout with over 30 home runs of his own. Behind the plate, Max Stassi, I believe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
Starting pitcher will be the question mark this year. We know they have Otani, but will Noah Syndergaard hold up good after Tommy John surgery? Then you have another slugging pitcher, like we mentioned before, Lorenzen, formerly of the Reds. Closing things out will be Iglesias and his sub-3 ERA and 34 saves from last year. So look for that to continue this year for the A's. So A's will be my number 2 pick, with Seattle pushing them a little bit. Number 1 team, they lost some players. They gained some players. They laughed, they cried. The Houston Cheaters, the Astros, will win their division again. So we all know about the sign stealing thing. And another new thing in baseball is not all teams are doing this. Some have opted to use the traditional signs. But now we have catchers with electronic signal devices on their armband that they could press fastball, low, fastball, whatever, and it sends a signal out to the pitcher. They have a receiver in their hat that will say what the pitch is, tell them what the pitch is. It's encrypted that nobody can steal it. It's designed specifically for each team. The voices in the hat can come out in Spanish, English, whatever.
Good God Almighty!
This is insane.
Thoughts on that?
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
Thoughts on that again? Could you imagine Yogi Berra using that stuff back in the day? Seriously.
What?
And really, we have to go that complicated because people can't mix up their signals. Catchers aren't smart enough to do the whole chest protector, knee, and then third signal or third call. What are we doing? You know how
exactly.
Is this going to slow this game up? And by the way, when you have a pitch clock on, is that going to slow this stuff down? Seriously, how technical and how strict are they going to be about the pitch clock?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm having technical failures. Sorry.
Just throw the damn ball.
Throw the damn ball.
For God's
give
sake.
him the heater, Ricky.
Yeah, give him the heater.
And then, so what happens if it rains?
Right.
You don't want electronic stuff getting wet.
Right.
This is so insane.
Get a rain.
It's insane.
Mike, did you get my signal? Did you get the signal I just sent you to comment on this? Check your armband. I sent you a signal.
Yeah.
Mike, did you hear that new rule?
Hey, Mike keeps freezing up there.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, over here, Mike. Over here.
Did you hear that new rule about the catchers?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Did you hear that new rule that the catchers have with the electronic?
I can't hear that well. Sorry.
Is there something going on there?
There's a little problem technically.
Yeah.
So catchers now have the ability to, on their armband, they have electronic device where they can.
Yeah. Say it again, please, Paul.
So catchers now have something on their armband that they can electronically press a button and call for a fastball, curveball, whatever. And that will send a signal out to the pitcher who has a receiver in their hat. And it will verbally tell them what the pitch is. So there will be no more catchers putting the signs down. I guess this is just for when somebody's on base.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's too Jetsons oriented, if I can
Yeah.
put it in a more understandable way for the audience.
Jetsons.
I think
I like that.
it wasn't broke. Don't fix it, like Ralph said during the AL, and I agree. NL, and I agreed with him. This is almost cheating, and I think it's a bad thing.
Well, the Astros can do it then with no problem. They got no problem with that.
No, they don't.
Did they come up with that? Or who came up with this idea? Was it the Astros?
I have no idea. I guess
I think Major League Baseball probably came up with it because of the Astros. But what's funny to me is, we're going to start getting people deciphering codes. We can start getting people that are going to start intercepting those codes and then trying to relay it. This is insane, dude.
Yeah.
You're destroying a game. That's all you're doing.
All right,
Again,
so
Manfred. Enough said.
don't even. Yeah,
Just
don't
getting
even-
over technical. Yeah.
Starting in the outfield, you have Chase McCormick and Michael Brantley. They'll contribute. They'll be light hitting, contribute about 10 to 15 home runs, and play solid defense. Then throw in Kyle Tucker. He'll hit upwards of 30 home runs and drive in over 100 this year. What do you think of that outfield? I don't even know what the name of the ballpark is there. It used to be Minute Maid Park.
Oh, you're talking about Houston's? Yeah, with the jut out,
With
the garage
Crawford
doors,
boxes.
and a train going through the upper deck, and
and
it's kind of cool. It's just different. That gap is a weird little cutout. Reminds me of the Polo Grounds, like I was talking about, that I went and saw. So that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's okay. I mean, Tiger Stadium had literally a 460 in center. I mean, and then the corners were short as all get out. I think it was 440. I might be off on that, but different parks are cool. I don't like cookie cutter parks, so I like the uniqueness of some of the parks.
Yeah. And then third base will have Alec Bergman and his 25 or so home runs. Shortstop, Jeremy Pena, son of Geronimo Pena, who played for the Cardinals and the Indians. Sounded like Forrest Gump there for a second.
You really did.
Greenbow, Alabama.
Good job, Jenny.
He'll be joined up the middle with all-star Jose Altuve. Look for about 25 or 20 home runs from him.
I can't stand him.
And first base belongs to Yuli. I can't pronounce this guy's Yuli. Anybody help me here? Gurley? I don't know.
That's all, Mike.
It doesn't matter.
A decent hitter who will set the table for the bottom half of the lineup. Behind the plate, light hitting Martin Maldonado. I don't know if he's related to Candy.
I'm sure he
Again,
is.
he'll be leaned on more for his defense and his offensive ability. At DH, you'll have Jordan Alvarez. Look for this guy to hit close to 40 home runs and well over 100 RBI. For their rotation, not a bum in the bunch. Valdez, Verlander, Garcia, and are the names that I can pronounce. The other ones will get they'll all get about 15 wins. Then you have Jake Odorizzi.
Yep.
And Jose Urquidy.
Pretty good.
Who quit? Who quit?
Equity?
Equity, yeah.
Equity.
Their bullpen will be led by closer Ryan Presley and his 31 saves from last year. So they'll certainly make it difficult for teams trying to come back this year. So Houston, Angels, Mariners, Rangers, and A's.
All right, so we'll go around the horn. Rick, what's your take on his picks?
I think it's the right call. I think as we've both stated before, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. So until I see somebody beat them, then why would I not go with the favorites? Plus, I like their lineup. Brantley is one of the more solid hitters in the league. When he's on, he's a 320, 330 hitter. Easy. Just a solid team. That organization's been good, cheating or not. I mean, they've been good for a while. Verlander, I love. I will always root for that man. He gave us great years. And I think he's a freak of nature. Anybody that starts a game throwing 92, 93, and then ends a game hitting triple digits at times or being in the 98, 99 range, that's just a freak of nature. You can't even explain that, why at 90 pitches he's throwing harder. So I just root for him. I love that staff. It's good staff.
Mike?
They're a loaded team with batting average, power, pitching. Lance McCullers.
Can you hear me, Mike?
He is so good. You hear me? Oh, you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Lance McCullers. This is the kind of team like the Dodgers where anybody can hit a home run at any time. And I think that they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. The Angels, I think they'll improve. Mike Trout's coming back. He'll be in top form. He and Guerrero will battle it out for the AL MVP.
Mm-hmm.
We're having some technical problems there with
No,
Mike.
you're good now. I think he was done right there. But
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just
Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, Verlander's with the Fountain of Youth. Her name's Kate Upton. So, I mean, that'll keep you young.
That'll keep
your arm will be live all day with that. So,
I'll take Upton.
Knees might be weak, but
yeah. Don't be a boxer. That's it.
Oh God. All right, real quickly then. As far as I'm concerned, the Mariners, Rangers, and Athletics, they're just hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
They'll beat somebody now and then and crap like that. But here's what I don't understand about the Angels. Somebody help me with this. They got probably 2 of the top 5 players, if not 2 of the top 3 players in baseball right now. Mm-hmm. Trout and Otani. You think I'm correct in saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's pretty much a consensus, right?
Oh yeah.
Why doesn't this guy go out and spend some money on pitching?
That's the thing.
What is Art Moreno? What the hell is he thinking? Good God.
He's not.
Go and at least get one, stud like a Cole or a Verlander or a Scherzer. Somebody. He is pissing away these guys' career. Mm-hmm. Trout will never win. He will never be in a World Series if this continues. What is this guy thinking? Am I off the wall here, guys?
You're not off the wall. You're across town.
You
can see it. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike. Go.
He was on the money. That's all I was saying.
I mean, when you look across town with the Dodgers, why is he not emulating him? If you have the money, why are you not? A championship will bring you a whole lot of money. A World Series trophy will bring you a lot of money. Yeah. So go spend it. But it's like you said, Ralph, everything's bottom dollar. It's who is okay with spending their money to go get what players want. Who's the owner you would want to play for? That does stuff like that. That's the question. That's the $1 million question.
That makes sense. But why would you own a team then? If you had the money and you go out, for example, if I had the money and I went out and purchased a baseball team, I got to go in there with the mindset that I'm going to, because these guys don't buy baseball teams as their primary source of income.
Correct.
To them, it's just one of the businesses that they own.
Yep.
They got, so if I'm going to go in there and I'm going to own a baseball team, I want to make sure that I not only buy it, but I'm going to do everything in my power. And my power is this: greenbacks, to get the best players available to win a championship. Or else, why the hell would you want to own a team? This guy is pissing away Mike Trout's finest years.
You got it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't.
But then they need to maybe look at the general manager who's making these deals and
can his ass
bring somebody there. Yeah.
Can his ass.
Why doesn't he? Yeah. Exactly.
It's like Steinbrenner. Everybody always used to bitch about Steinbrenner. He overrode when he didn't like a deal that he overrode it.
Yeah.
But you can say anything you want about Steinbrenner, but he was a winner.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He bought the right people at the right. He didn't care about the controversy, the shit. He reveled in it, and he made New York what it turned out to be. New York was in the dumps for years, and he purchased them, but he knew I'm going to buy this thing. Let me put money into it. You got to invest in. I feel bad for Mike Trout. I feel, and he's such a gentleman. He should be right now, right? Yeah, he should be the face of
he's
the
an old
game
soul
right now
in baseball.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, he's old school. He's very old school. Right. But going back to it, as a Detroit fan, I've seen this happen, so I know what road he's going down right now, and it's the Barry and the Calvin and that road, and it's not good.
Not good, dude.
It's not good.
And Rick, let me ask you guys, think about this for a second. What does that do for a guy's, not ego, but for a guy's psyche, when you know you're that good, and no matter what you do, you're not going to win a championship because you're surrounded by a bunch of bozos.
But he's such a winner, Ralph. So his mindset would be this: I can bring a championship here. Mm-hmm. That's how good dudes think. That's how good dudes think. They don't think about woe is me, what's around me, that bullshit. They think, what can I do to improve this dude, to get this dude to play better? How can we win? That I mean, that's the kind of guy I take Trout as. That really is.
I agree. But it gets to a point. There's only a certain number of years there. When you're at your prime.
Yeah, we see it. He can't see it. Yeah, that's how they're built. That's how champions are built. We see it from the outside looking in. He doesn't see that. He sees we can be this if we can get this guy to do this. That's how they see it. That's how a good player should see it. Yeah. But I'm with you 100% on that. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even make sense to me. Paul, you have any thoughts on this? Why the hell won't this guy go out and spend money? He spends a shitload of money on these other players. Get a pitcher.
Yeah.
Tell me who the star pitcher is for. Paul, tell me who the star pitcher is for.
Do you think that it could have been when they signed Albert to that huge contract out there that maybe he's gun shy on throwing out that much money?
Possibly, but he hasn't done it with a pitcher yet.
Right.
Because I get it when you do that with a pitcher, because that's been done several times, the old Zitos and stuff like that. It's been done. And then you get really gun shy because you get crucified in your local market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
he gave what?
Yeah. I don't know. He would, I don't know if he would look good or bad going to the management and say, hey, I want out. I want to go on a winning team. And
I think he's earned the right for that mouthpiece.
Yeah, definitely.
I do, honestly.
Definitely. And
I just don't think he's built like that. I don't think he's built like that.
I agree.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. All right. So we've gotten down to this point. We got to pick. You guys got to pick. Because I know you told me who's going to end up in the division first, second, whoever. You guys got to pick now. When we did the National League, let me see. Paul, you picked the in the NL Championship, you picked the Dodgers and the Braves. Mm-hmm. Mike, you chose the Brewers and the Dodgers.
Not Brewers. We're doing National. Yeah.
No, that was National League. Yeah. And Rick, you chose the Braves and the Dodgers. So everybody chose the Dodgers, but then we had the Braves too, and then the Brewers. Mike must have been smoking something. He chose the Brewers, but that's okay. So now I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. And it is good. And hopefully that'll happen. I'd like to see a change. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to do the same thing now. Last time we went Paul, Mike, and Rick. So Rick, I'm going to go with you first. You want
need more time?
You want to
Rick?
do the Paul thing and have more time to think about
it? You want me to give you the American League? I'm going to go with nobody out of my division. Because I'm with Mike, it's still the weakest. Chicago looks great, but they look great because it's that division.
Okay.
I like Houston again, the cheaters.
Okay.
And I will take them against Tampa Bay.
No kidding. I like that. All right.
Yep.
All right. So what do we got here? We got Rick. We'll go to Mike this time.
You're going to do something I hate, Rick. I'm going to agree with you. I think it's going to be pretty easy, actually. This is easier than the NL for me because Houston is loaded with talent. Tampa Bay is loaded with teamwork. And I think no team is going to touch either one of them in the championship, in the playoffs.
Connection's horrible.
Stay closer to the screen, and I think it works better for some reason. You're good.
Okay.
Mike, start again.
I think it's going to be the Rays and the Astros, like Rick
Connection's
said.
horrible today. I don't know why.
Because,
Yeah, it is.
because I think it's going to be the Rays and the Astros, like Rick said. Because
Okay.
the Astros have talent beyond belief, and Rays have a team that works together beyond belief, and nobody's going to touch them.
Let me ask you guys: are they gonna require the Astros to have no garbage cans in the dugout? Is that a new rule now? Just saying.
I think
Just
they'll make
bags.
sure that they're not stealing the play calls in the ear. They don't have some decipher code breeder that's in there trying to crack their headsets.
Yeah.
They'll find some 16-year-old hacker.
They will.
That'll hack
That's
into
exactly
that
what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Paul. Now you've had time to think about this. You've digested.
I had this. I was ready to go first.
You were ready to go first.
He was
Yeah.
ready today. He was
was ready.
prepared.
Right.
He was
All
my
right.
I
Jenny.
had my pants on and everything. I'm ready.
You know we can.
We were like peas and carrots.
Yeah.
Jenny.
All right. I hope
gonna
you don't
pick,
choose Houston and Tampa Bay because it's going to be very boring.
Now he needs time. Thanks, Ralph.
Are you serious?
No. I'm going to pick Toronto
Oh,
and Houston.
I like that.
so Toronto's the outlier. Here.
Reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're the outsider.
That's very reasonable because you can flip-flop Tampa and Toronto.
I like it. All right, so let me go around the horn again.
It's as successful as Tony La Russa is in the playoffs. He finds a way to win.
Yeah, if he gets
That
the right matchup.
I wouldn't count Tony out. I wouldn't count Tony.
Neither
out.
would I.
All right. So
That's
let's go around
all
the
I
horn
have to
again. We'll
say
start with
about
Rick.
that.
Rick.
Yeah, I'm listening to
All right,
Forrest.
now we're talking. Well, you know what? Before we get into the champ, let's talk about a sleeper. We talked
Okay.
about
Go first.
sleepers last time.
Let
Rick,
Paul
who's
go
your
first.
sleeper?
He's
Oh,
prepared.
Paul. Okay,
this
Paul.
time.
There you go. You're all set.
He's prepared.
Ooh.
Me,
Mr.
Coach,
Cotta.
put me in.
Mr. Cotta. Ooh.
I'm open. I'm going to go with Detroit. I like the young team. I like
Yeah.
up and coming. I think Detroit's going to be a surprise.
Wow!
like
Look at that, Rick. Did he score some
like
points
it.
with
He
you,
made
buddy?
me happy.
Oh my goodness! Hey, get you out of the
Trois.
dumpster. Yeah, all right.
Because
You were feeling low because of that Michigan thing
house,
last night.
baby.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Mike, and we'll give Rick a little time to digest that. Mike,
I'm going to go with the Twins.
who's your sleeper?
The Twins. Not only is Buxton a great
The
leadoff
Twins?
batter, but
It's a
the Minnesota
solid-
Twins.
Wait. Hold on. There's something wrong with my.
The Minnesota Twins. I think
There's
Minnesota
nothing wrong with you, Mike.
Minnesota Twins.
They've acquired a lot of great players. I don't think they're going to go that far, but I wouldn't.
They
be
really
surprised.
did. That Gary Sanchez being one of them.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's horrendous. So Ralph, you can
Yeah.
get back to that.
Mike, I'll buy you a steak dinner if that happens. They will never win with Gary Sanchez catching. Never in a million years. The guy's a dud. He's an idiot. He can't hit. He can't field. He can't frame pitches. He can't run. Can't do shit.
He's one player.
Okay.
He's one player.
But I like
We
that.
need to
pick.
get
I
him
don't
on
know
the
if he's
show.
all that
Hey,
bad. I mean, he's not-
We should, yes.
Yeah, but he's a
and
very
tell him
key
to send
player.
Ralph some
He's a very key
memorabilia.
player. Yeah, when you got the catcher is a key player in any team.
Those Toronto's
He's the
pitchers.
guy. He's the leader. This guy can't even. Who?
Okay, I'll stick to my pick.
I'm pulling your leg, Mike. But that's a very interesting pick.
Here, watch
It
this,
really,
Paul.
really is.
Just when you thought he was pissed, watch this.
Oh boy, I know where this
Go
is going.
ahead, ask me. Who's my sleeper?
All right,
Ralph?
Rick, who's your sleeper?
Boston Red Sox.
Oh,
Just because.
God.
Just because I like your blood pressure up.
You know, I was going to go out now and have nice lunch with you just screwed up my
Yeah.
day. You just
Too
screwed
bad.
up my day.
Beantown, baby. Beantown.
Oh, God almighty.
I didn't pick him to go to the playoffs.
Nothing.
That's right. I just
That's
did
why
it
it's
to
a
piss
sleeper.
you off. I don't really believe in that.
Something. All right.
No,
you know what surprises?
Go
Here's
ahead.
what
I'm
surprises
sorry.
me, guys. No, it's Rick. Here's what surprises me. I picked the White Sox. No,
Yeah,
I go with the White Sox. And I'm surprised none of you chose them. I know you mentioned them in there. I think the White Sox are better than most people give them credit for. I think they're ready. And I like La Russa. He's in the twilight of his career. He's getting old. And I think it's like the Cardinals. You know, I think that this Pujols and this Yadier Molina and this Wainwright deal, I think that just pushes a team to the top. So I'm going to go with the White Sox. Now, with that said, now they're going to go into World Series, the World Series.
Okay.
All right. So I want each one of you, if you would tell me who's going to be in the World Series, recap that and tell me who the winner is to win the whole thing. Mike, we'll start with you.
Houston will be in the AL. Dodgers will be in the NL. Dodgers will win in 5.
Ooh,
So
I
you
like
got
it.
Houston and Dodgers in 5. Okay, cool. God, I can't stand Houston. Guys, just stick in my craw. Paul, what do you think?
Boston.
Boston in a sweep.
No. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be Houston, and I think we picked the Dodgers from the NL, and I agree. I think it's going to be Dodgers. I'll say 6 to be different.
Okay. Rick?
I'm going off the beaten path because I do believe in Toronto. I believe in their youth, and I believe in that lineup. So I'm going Toronto and the Dodgers, and I'm going to go Toronto in 7.
Ooh.
That would be amazing.
Because I think
like
the
it.
only way you beat the Dodgers will be in 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Not that you guys care, but I'm going to surprise you here. I'm going to go with the Cardinals and the White Sox.
Ooh.
And I think the Cardinals are going to win it all in 6.
Ooh.
A La Russa rematch, huh?
Yep.
Now I feel bad
Basically,
saying
La Russa
Boston.
loving
Thanks,
both
Ralph.
towns.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think, yeah.
I feel bad saying Boston now. Thanks, Ralph.
I get it, buddy. I
Cardinals,
get it.
White Sox, Cardinals, and you said Cardinals in 6?
Cardinals in
7.
6. Cardinals and White Sox.
Cardinals in 6.
And I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind White Sox winning the whole thing because I love Tony La Russa. I love Tony La Russa. I'm a huge Cardinals fan for many years, but the White Sox are ready, folks. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. And I think Toronto is overrated. I think they're still too young. I don't think they're ready yet. You give them another year or two, and they're going to dominate the league if they can keep some of these core players like the Bichettes and they're going to dominate that league. I truly believe that. And the Yankees they're like, forget them. They're so screwed up. I don't even want to mention them. So that's our picks. So you guys got Dodgers, Toronto. So right now the consensus is the Dodgers. And you got Houston. I can't stand you guys for picking Houston. Makes me sick.
Can't stand it either.
Yeah.
We'll go lose, so it'll be sweet vengeance. Vengeance is mine, says Dave Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's true.
There you go.
Very true.
There you
Mike.
go.
All right. Closing comments. We'll start with Mike.
I'm so excited about this year, guys.
Mike, anything you want to say before we leave?
Yes, I'm so happy to work with you guys. I'm so happy that we're having a season. And visit my show at Mike Essen at blogtalkradio.com/Mike Essen show. And it's at 4:00 every day. Sometimes I talk about sports and movies. Mostly it's politics, but you'll love the show. And if you don't agree with me, you'll love it too. You'll just love to hate it.
Yeah, it's a great show, guys. You guys got to tune in, and you'll see it right there on the screen. It's the Mike Essen Show on Blog Talk Radio. Great show. Great show. Thank you, Mike. It's always a pleasure. Paul, and then Rick will close this out.
I agree with Mike. It's so neat to have baseball back. It's always, opening day is always an emotional day, always just fun. Everybody's still in it. It's just a great great time of year. I love going to games and stuff, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these. And go Cardinals.
There you go,
There
buddy.
you go.
Okay, Rick, why don't you go ahead and close us out? Just reminding everybody, just before you do that, hit the like and subscribe buttons and ring that bell and share this with your people. And you got something to say to us, hey, call us. Send us an email. You know what? Send us an email and let us know, where we've gone wrong. This is just our picks. We have a ball doing it, but we want you to take part in this. So I'm going to hand you over to my co-host, Rick. Close us out. Rick, take it away.
Well, I think it's great. It's America's pastime. It's been a rough 2 years with this country, with all the bullshit we've gone through. It's great to almost feel normal again when you watch these ballparks get sold out. There's nothing like baseball. Honestly, there's nothing like it. When you go to a game, when you're watching a game, just talking the game, it's America's pastime, period. The end. Love that for once in my life in the last 10 years that I don't believe the end of April will be the end of my team's chances for making the playoffs. So I'm very grateful for that, I think. I'm just excited to get back to it. It feels like the excitement of 84 again. And it's just nice to have Detroit be relevant again, at least in preseason, even if it's preseason, even if it's early. But I have a blast doing these shows with y'all, and just looking forward to doing more recaps.
I appreciate it, Rick. I appreciate you so much, man. All you guys, just wonderful. Folks, you've been listening to Life, Sports, Music, and Beer. And look, this show is about you telling your story. So if you have a story to tell, and we don't do only sports, we've got some great shows coming up. We're going to be interviewing a young lady that Rick, you want to just give us a recap there on what Tiffany?
Well, Tiffany, both my sisters, we're going to be interviewing. Tiffany was a photographer and model out in LA. She's moved home. She's going to give us her experiences from LA, which, Mike, you should probably have her on your show, to be honest. And what she's seen firsthand and all of that. And Kim, my other sister, is the celebrity nail person. She does nails for Adele, Ozzy Osbourne, Katy Perry, Rihanna, and she's in all their cliques, basically. So be exciting to hear their stories from out there, and they'll give you a nice life story on how they've become what they are.
Yeah, that's awesome, Rick. I look forward to hearing that. I really, really do. We've got another episode coming up with a young lady. She's my cousin. She was the first City of Miami police officer way back in the 70s. She's got a hell of a story to tell, and the hurdles that she had to go through to be able to be the first female police officer in the city of Miami it's an awesome story. She's a great storyteller too. And I've also got somebody coming on the show we're going to be interviewing that she has been through, suffered it was not a good childhood. She was abused. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman, and she spends right now she's one of the most beautiful people you ever want to meet, and she spends all her time now doing acts of kindness. She broke the cycle. When she was brought in, I always talk about how generation after generation. If there's abuse in the family, somebody has to break the cycle. And she broke that, and she is so well loved. She's my sister-in-law. I'll put that up front there. And she's got an incredible story. Her son was killed at the young age of 18. He was shot to death. Just incredible stuff. So, and she's got so much wisdom to share with everybody. So anyway, it's Life, Sports, Music, and Beer. It's time to tell your story. And just remember that there's no story that isn't worth telling. So guys, gentlemen, thank you so much. See you next time.
Take care.
On behalf of everyone from Life, Sports, Music, and Beer, we thank you for tuning in. If you've got that story to tell, comment below. Smash that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can hear other amazing stories.